Hi, everybody. I hope everyone's doing well. I'm back with another week of NFL bets. I'm recording a little later in the week than I normally do for a couple different reasons, but partially because I wanted to take a little more time to think about my bets for this week and look at how the lines move. And I have come up with 3 picks that I like for week 3. First off, just a quick recap of week 2. After a profitable week 1, I came up a little short last week. I hit 1 out of my 3 bets. The Packers beat the Colts, so I got the win there. The Patriots and Seahawks game did not go under the 39.5. I believe the final was 23-20 Seahawks in overtime. Something like that. So that went just over. But the Patriots played last night on Thursday Night Football, and that total only got to 27, which was well under what the total was going into the game. So unders in Patriots games are now 2-1. I didn't bet it this week, but still a trend I'm going to keep a close eye on throughout the year, and it may end up in my betting rotation again. And the other game that I bet on was Falcons-Eagles over 47 on Monday Night Football. Not super long before the game, we got news that A.J. Brown would not be playing, and that dropped the total by about 1.5 from what I saw. And the game ended up going under. I think it was 22-21 Falcons, so it only got to 43. So who knows if A.J. Brown would have made the difference and made a few more plays for the Eagles that ultimately got them another score and pushed that total over, but that one was also a loss. So I'm just going to jump right in to my bets for this week. First off, I like the Houston Texans on the road in Minnesota, minus 2.5. I've seen it at minus 2 some places in the last day or so, but I grabbed it at 2.5. I think anything under 3 is a good bet. The Vikings got a big upset win over the 49ers last week. I'm still not super sold on them. I think the Texans are definitely the better team. And I just feel like it's a good spot for the Texans to keep rolling and go into Minnesota and win this game by at least a field goal. I just think that there's some people overvaluing the Vikings after their win last week, and that this really should be a bigger spread. So not really a whole lot else to say about that. I think the Texans offense is still looking pretty solid. Nico Collins has had a couple really good games. C.J. Stroud seems like he's returning to form. I like the Texans to keep rolling. Houston minus 2.5 is my first bet. My second bet, I am rolling with the other Texas team, and betting on the Cowboys money line over the Ravens. So the Ravens are favored by 1.5 on the road in Dallas, but rather than take that insurance policy if it's a 1-point game and get it at minus 120, I'd rather just bet the money line and take it at minus 104. I know a lot of people think it's hard to believe that the Ravens will go to 0-3, but I think something seems pretty off with them, and I just don't see them going on the road to Dallas and getting a win here. Dallas had a disappointing loss this past week, and I see them coming back home and bouncing back and getting the win here. They are historically pretty effective at home. They have a pretty good win percentage at home, especially in the regular season, and it just feels like a good spot for the Cowboys. And I think at basically even odds, I think it's a good bet. So Cowboys money line is my second bet. And my last bet this week is the Giants plus 6.5. The Giants lost a close game last weekend to the Commanders. There was a lot of frustration on the sideline after the game, particularly from their coach, Brian Daboll. I think some people could look at that and say that the Giants are maybe falling apart, that they're crumbling from within. I think that they are going to take that frustration and go into Cleveland and play a good game. And I don't think the Browns are really all that good. I think they did get a win this past weekend, but I'm not sold that they're going to beat the Giants by over 6 points. I think even if they pull out the game, it'll be by a field goal or 4 points, and I think the Giants are going to be motivated to go in and show everybody that they're not as bad as a lot of people are saying. So my third and final bet of the week is Giants plus 6.5. So we will see how I do this week. Couple games I'll be watching with great interest this week. I already mentioned the Cowboys-Ravens game. I think that should be a good one. And I'm rooting for the Cowboys not only for my bet this week, but they are also, of course, my NFC champion prediction. So I'll be looking to see what happens there. I'm also going to be watching with interest to see how the Lions do over the Cardinals. The Cardinals had a big, surprising win this past week. Lions ended up with a disappointing loss. The Lions are my pick to win the NFC North, so really hoping they can get a win this week to keep on the right track. And we have a doubleheader on Monday Night Football this week. Jaguars Bills is one of the games, and Commanders Bengals is the other. And this is kind of a win-win for me. The Bengals are my AFC champion prediction, so it would be nice to see them get their first win of the season. But I do have the over for Commanders wins this year, so if they can get to 2-1, that would be a nice start. So Either way, that's going to be something trending in a positive direction as it relates to my futures bets. So, I hope everybody enjoys week 3 of NFL action. Thank you, as always, to everyone who has watched and listened to my videos. Thank you to my new subscribers, and you will hear from me soon. Take care. Bye-bye.